Hello, friends, and welcome back. We are back again to discuss The Penguin Season 1, or I guess the only season, Episode 5, Homecoming. I'm here with Jared. Jared, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
Good. It's fun to follow this series along as it's being released.
Certainly is. And another fun episode. You kind of expect maybe a little disappointment after such a spectacular showing from last week.
Mm.
But I wasn't disappointed at all. I quite enjoyed it.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing because Episode 4 was such a high mark that you always worry about the drop-off. Or, how do you, even from a creator standpoint, once you have an episode like that, that's such a memorable episode, what do you do next? Do you bring the intensity level down? Do you give the viewers a break? Do you keep it up? Do you, so it's, I thought they did a great job with it and didn't leave us, we continue the story. There were still lots of surprises. There were still lots of dramatic moments. The train kept rolling. I don't think it lost momentum at all.
Yeah, I know. I agree. And I was quite happy with it, actually. And I liked, a lot of the return to some traditional camera work and stuff like that. That was done earlier in the season, and because they brought us back into the main story, away from the Sophia backstory, and brought us kind of back into the main story, reminded us of everything going on. And one thing that stood out to me was, of course, the first thing the Penguin did, he burns his car, and that's kind of a metaphorical burning bridges type of, scenario there. Like, we're done with that, and we're done with whoever we were connected with. And right off the bat, he's making his own moves, like right away, adjusting to the moment, just like we've seen this whole series.
I think the car burning was now that you mention it, was a pretty important moment because it is almost, there's no going back. It is almost part of his identity.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like his signature. Like, there was such it was a car that would stand out if you see it on the street somewhere. So you knew that it was him anywhere he went. It was very recognizable because of the colors and the style.
Yeah.
So burning the car is we can't repair. Like you said, those bridges are gone. We have to move forward, and there's no turning back now. That's it.
Yeah. So that was just great storytelling right there. There's that moment, and we just move right on, like one thing after the next.
Yeah.
I love the little subtle payoff of the guard when he leaves the prison. And I forget what happened first. He captured the kid first, right?
Mm-hmm.
The son, Taj Maroney, and then he get that subtle payoff of the guard when he's leaving, and he mentions like 11 p.m. and it's just like, oh, like if you blinked, you might have missed that.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's important, and yeah. And indeed it was important because that was the time for him, the time for the betrayal for the guard to try to kill Sal Maroney,
Mm-hmm.
Which didn't work out so well.
No, I think it's interesting that Penguin goes from having this position of power, really, with the Falcone family, with Sophia before the events of the end of episode 3, to it just being him and a couple of guys. He went from almost in a prime position to be number, way up on the tier in the new family, or in the Falcone family at the time, to just being just a couple of dudes. I mean, so to make a move that bold surprised me a little bit, because he didn't lay low. You thought he would. I thought he would lay low for a while, or kind of wait for things to calm down, but he goes right after Taj and wants to kidnap him and use him as leverage.
Yeah, but he's using his street level people that were under him before, and that he thinks is loyal to him, and he uses his girlfriend to keep as the place to keep Taj Maroney, prisoner, tied up, which was like, so he doesn't have the resources that the families have yet, and I thought that was a pretty key point early on in the episode to relate to how the episode ends. Like, I need a place, I need a headquarters, and all I have is my girlfriend's apartment and this run-down place in the slums in the Crown Point. And so that was just like how that tied together with how the episode ended was wonderful. I love that.
Yeah, like you mentioned before we started recording, the title is Homecoming, and there's lots of homes, and I didn't realize it until you said it. But yeah, there was lots of homes in this because Vic goes home to Crown Point.
Yep.
I might get my characters mixed up. Yeah, Vic goes home to Crown Point, back to his home neighborhood. Penguin goes home to the train network where they're going to set up the new camp. Sophia has a new home. She has the new family, which I'm sure we'll discuss. But yeah, lots of homes in this one. And in a way, Sal Maroni goes home too, because he's out of prison.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, and it's almost like there's a complete resetting of the power structure based upon the chaotic events that happened previously. Everything was shaken up, and now all the snowflakes are settling. Yeah.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
And now everybody's getting their place, and they're getting where they're gonna land, and we'll see what happens next episode is when they move on from there.
Yeah, when Vic took Frances Cobb, Penguin's mom, to Crown Point, they did make it a point to show that was it Squid, the kid who is left over there, who is kind of looting and taking advantage of this. So they made it a point to show that Vic feared him. He was trying to get in the building before he was spotted, but Squid does see him at the very last minute, and her. So I'm assuming we'll see him again somehow, because I'm assuming he's watching and he knows at least a little bit of what's going on, and so I'm assuming he'll pop in at some point.
Yeah, that was very concerning when you saw that he saw them, going in there, and I was kind of expecting something a little sooner to happen with that notice, but it seems like they're saving that for later. But it's definitely something that's, you're right, it's going to come up. It's going to come up later, and that's a perfect tie-in to of course, the Penguin, Oz, put Vic in charge of his mother, which turns out to be a big deal. At first you think Vic's like, I don't want to be babysitting, but it actually ends up being quite the big deal that he did that, and that Vic was once again coming through for Oz, coming, and doing what he needed to do, and showing his resourcefulness and how he went about, being a good soldier for the Penguin. So once again, we'll see how that comes into play later on as well.
Yeah, it does sound like babysitting, because it seems like Vic was starting to enjoy the kind of the thuggery side of it, to kind of put a beating on someone and enjoy the kind of getting the mix, and then he's asked to go get the mother, which sounds like babysitting, but like you said, it is his mom is the most important thing to him, so he's doing it because he trusts him.
And it was very cool how in talking to Vic, his mother, Victor told his mother that there's a big play coming, and his mother was like very proud. She's like, "Oh, finally, my boy's doing something right." And of course, that gets just destroyed at the end of the episode. So.
Yeah, it gets destroyed pretty quickly, and so many. There's two moments I think in this one for the Penguin. The first one is him with his mom, trying to assure her that he's moving up in the world and he has a plan and he's making moves, and she rejects him and she kind of, what kind of son are you? You're not a man. You can't take care of your own mom. And this really kind of quiet moment with the Penguin and his mom, and this like heartfelt moment. And then, so you go from that to him burning Taj and,
oh man,
the Maroni, I forget her name, burning them alive, which was Nadia, burning them alive with. I'm assuming he knew that it was a setup. Well, maybe he didn't. Either way, he was going to burn them because the Maronis planned to kill Penguin and whoever came with him after they got the sun back, but that didn't work out too well, and then he burned them both alive.
Yeah, that was. I mean, I assumed he suspected a setup, and just like she expected a setup as well, but I think she thought she had the upper hand. It was more on her turf than his, and she had all the people up there on the balcony there. But it was interesting because you went from Sophia dousing Vito in water down in the cold dungeon there, wherever it was, and he's all wet and stuff, and then you went to the kid covered in a liquid, and I didn't equate right away that it was gasoline. Yeah. I was like, I thought there was some kind of parallel that of torture there or something like that. And then, of course, how it played out, you're like, oh yeah.
Yeah, they did kind of set you up to think that it was water, didn't they? Because,
a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, because she does kind of dump cold water on him to keep him cold and to make like a torture. And then we see him, and I just assumed it was the same reason that he was kind of being tortured, and the water was to keep him uncomfortable and to keep him kind of in line. But I didn't expect it to be flammable and to burn them both alive, which was brutal. So you have the moment of him in bed with his mom, having this dejected look on his face to having this psychotic look on his face, watching them both burn alive. It's such the different sides of him.
Yeah, that was that was just it was just great storytelling right there. Anyway, it's just setting up your expectations like that, and showing the parallels of the situations, but also you also get excellent, really great camera work when he's moving into the Penguin's face, watching them burn, and just seeing the pure evil in his eyes right at that point. You know that this is a bad guy. As much as we sometimes cheer for this guy and root for him, man, he is a bad guy.
Yeah, and that's, I think it almost in a way not only kind of develops the Penguin and the different sides of him, but also reminds us that you have this kind of tender, like almost felt sorry for him moment, and then they remind you he's a cold-blooded killer he's psycho, sociopath. They almost kind of bring you back to remind you that, okay, this isn't someone you necessarily want to root for, at least not for the right reasons. So yeah, it's lots of both sides, and they make it a point to show his face just staring at the bodies burning, and that was just that was great.
Yeah, and that was cold. He is a cold person, being able to do that, and I just it was so well done in the fact that and it plays off the humor of his mother being proud of him earlier. For you moving up in the world, and it's just like, well, wait a minute, that there's something wrong with that too. You know what I mean? Like his mother's not right in the head either, because what mother wants their son to be a gun-toting powerful criminal in the city?
Yeah.
Like she does. So you just think about that. It's amusing when it's happening, but then if you really think about it later, it's like, oh wait a minute, there's something wrong there. And it's just wow, it just blows my mind how they're pulling this off.
I think he burns them alive before the moment with his mom, but still, it's still a
but not right. Yeah, before the tender moment. Yeah, but not before when she told Victor she was proud of him.
Yeah.
And it's good stuff.
Yeah, I think the Soprano influences are pretty, and not in a bad way, but I think it's definitely a nod and a wink to the Sopranos, at least to the influence, because the mother, the relationship with the mom, and it was not the same, but it's still kind of sort of that same kind of relationship, I guess, as Tony and his mom, but not in a copy and paste way, but more of just an homage way, just to kind of play on that.
Yeah, I agree with that. They definitely they're mining the same territory, without being derivative or copycat, like you said.
Yeah, and of course so we have the aftermath of the family being killed by Sophia, and her explaining that whole thing, and she just doesn't skip a beat the entire time, and everyone kind of knows. I mean, it's unsaid, but everyone knows that she killed everybody. No one's going to come out and say it, but she definitely has some moves that she's making too.
Oh yeah. And it's funny because she tortured Vito down there in the dungeon, and once again we're led to believe that this guy is going to be a player. He's going to be a part of this. He's all in now. He's like, yeah, you're the boss. I got it. And just how ready was she to pull that trigger? Like, so ready. It's almost like she set up the whole situation just to make an example of him in front of the rest. And I was just like, wow, once again, bam, oh crap, Vito's dead.
Yeah, I think he was just almost a prop. I think it was just a way for, I think he gave her legitimacy to bring everyone in the door. And then she made an example out of him and said, he's this person who is high up the ladder, who is respected and who is feared. And she just gets rid of him and like, okay, it's a new day. It's a new family.
Yeah. That word untouchable came up. And we found out just how not untouchable he is.
Yeah. That part surprised me because like you said, I thought he was going to be kind of her number two, or at least heavily involved in what she has.
Right.
And I wasn't sure how that would work because she just got finished torturing him. But I don't know if she planned on doing that or if it just happened, but I think she has a very short fuse, I guess, in regards to kind of putting up with anyone's shit or anyone questioning her. She just doesn't want to be questioned, doesn't want to kind of, someone to talk over her or kind of, feel like she's not, like illegitimate or whatever. So yeah, she definitely made an example out of him.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you can say she planned to do that exact thing, but I think you can definitely infer that she was ready for it. Mm-hmm. She was ready for that to happen. If he would have kept his mouth shut and just went along, would he still be alive? I think that could work to her advantage too, because if everybody sees that he's on her side and they're going to go along with it. But as soon as he wasn't, she made the example, and now you're going to go along whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
But she also throws him the carrot as well. Bigger share of money, more equal share of money, more equal share of the spoils. And Really well played.
Yeah, I think her family was driven by greed, and she's driven by revenge, by hate, by anger. She doesn't care about the money, really. She probably has enough money to keep herself. She's fine probably for the rest of her life from what her family left, but that's not important to her. She is not concerned with the money. She's just pissed off. So I think that the different motivations between her and her old family was kind of an interesting kind of contrast.
Yeah, she's no longer wants to be shunted aside. She no longer wants to rely on men for anything that she wants in life. She wants to be the top dog in charge of the family. That's I don't know if her brother was older than her or not, but she is the daughter. But interestingly enough, that I love that nice little shot of her family name on the wardrobe there, on the dress or something like that. And of course now she's taking this family name, and not only does she take this family name, she's now going to use that as a bargaining chip with the Maronis later.
I think it's almost the ultimate kind of piss on your grave, isn't it? She kills everyone, and then the name that was so notorious for being this dangerous, ruthless, powerful crime family, everyone took pride in the name Falcone, and she takes that name and she erases it, never to be spoken of again, and she takes on a new name. It's like this rebirth that she's kind of wiping them from existence and making them, she's going to make them be something of the past. So I think definitely a power move there for her.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I love Victor when he gets to that rundown apartment, bringing Mom there. And I think it was him, or maybe it was the Penguin, I forget who said it, but one of them was like, they're looking out the window like, oh, best view in the city. That just cracked me up.
Very droll humor.
Yeah.
Very kind of,
dark humor, yeah. I love the contrast of this episode compared to the last one. In the last one, you had Sophia saying, no longer taking anything from men. It's like men screwed up her life. They tore her down. They kicked her out. They did horrible things to her, and she's no longer taking their orders from men. This episode, the Penguin gets thrown out by his girlfriend out of her apartment, gets ripped apart by his mother. So you can say in a way that all the women in his life have kind of disowned him at this point, in direct contrast to the last episode where the men, where Sophia's done with the men in her life. And I just love that theme, that thematic contrast between the two episodes.
Yeah, it's true.
Really good stuff.
Yeah, and so finding the underground kind of tunnel system and having the just the 2 buckets of mushrooms, that's gonna have to be his new kind of, that's all you have left.
Yeah, the trolley tunnels, that was really cool setting, like a really neat whole, just the way it looked and the way they made it all look and stuff like that. I really love the whole I guess what's the word for, just a cinematic feel of it all. It was really neat. I feel like we've seen that before, and I can't place it. That kind of thing. I don't know if it was in one of the earlier Batman movies or something like that had a very similar look and feel to that underground trolley tunnel.
I remember that the kind of, I think the Tim Burton's Batman, I think he lived in the sewers, but I can't remember from the comics where that connects. It has to have, I'm assuming it has some kind of meaning.
Yeah, it's definitely a great idea on his part. Since they're pretty much closed off now and nobody ever goes there. We'll see what he does with it. Because I know, he mentioned that the mushrooms should be able to grow here.
Mm.
So that's going to be the basis of his empire. If that's the only source now, he could be sitting on something pretty good.
Yeah, the only thing I can find is that the Penguin's new base resembles the Batcave from the Batman.
Oh, okay.
So there could be something, kind of a wink and a nod there.
Yeah.
A great place to grow mushrooms, though.
Yep. So he's found his headquarters. That's, like you said, it's about coming home, and he's basically found his new home, that's just a great setup for we got 3 more episodes left. Yeah, that's a great setup to now you've established your base, and in the next 3 episodes we'll see where we establish him being the premier Batman villain that we know he's going to become someday. I'm
curious how it's going to work out, because with the Gigantes and the Maronis joining forces, because now she also ends the war with the
that's right
Maronis. Yeah. So with them joining forces, they're both gunning for Penguin. How is he going to get out of this? How is he going to expand his empire under so much pressure?
That's a good question. I suspect, just like with every single other plan made by anybody in this series, the plans are going to go wrong.
Yeah.
And
pretty much everything, yeah.
Yeah, and chaos is going to happen in one way or another.
Yeah, I'm curious how they're going to make that work, or what plan will fail that he'll find some opportunity to do something, to make a move at just the right moment to succeed. But yeah, I don't know how that's going to work out.
That's been the case with every episode so far. I've been pleasantly surprised by how unpredictable it's been.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. The setup for there's a lot to happen in the last. Well, I don't even know the end point really. Where really kind of what to look forward to. I don't know where this is going to fit, or if this is leading up into something, or if we're going to end up being going to meet up with the movie later down the road, or how that's all going to work together. But either way, I'm excited to see how they figure this out.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, and once again, I want to praise some of the excellent camera work in this episode, especially the overemphasis of his handicap when he enters the rundown apartment. It's almost like this place is run down, and look at where the Penguin is, and how the camera was behind him, and they were just watching that almost painful looking walk into the room where his mother is, because he knows that he knows his mother's not going to be happy. So it was almost just like a precursor to her kind of breaking his heart at the end there, telling him to get off and stuff like that. Just beautiful stuff.
Yeah, that's true. Really great stuff.
Yeah.
The Crown Point set with the cars, and that was just a wasteland. So you also see the the end result of the events that they kind of relived in episode 3.
Yeah.
So what's left of Crown Point and what that's become, which is looks like anarchy almost.
Yeah, yeah. And it was interesting to see how Vic knew his way around that area, and like we said before, I think that's going to be a key skill that Vic has in the use of the Penguin, trying to build what he's building.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, another great episode.
Yep, certainly is. Yeah,
I do wonder how Gia's going to fit in, the daughter who Sophia brought out of the house and took her to the greenhouse. I wonder where she's going to fit in, or what will happen with her.
Oh yeah, because she got taken away to a home, an orphanage, so to speak. So yeah, what's going to happen there? Is that it? Is she just shunted off and that's it? We never hear from her.
Yeah, I wonder. Maybe Sophia created another Sophia unintentionally.
That's what you got to wonder. Yeah, because Gia. It all depends. All depends on how she gets treated at whatever place she goes to, and Gotham doesn't have a good track record for raising up kids who have been through trauma.
No, raising kids, period. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you never know. I mean, that would be years down the timeline. But then we have, what did you think about Sal Maroni being able to overcome the guard the way he did? You think that was a little too much, or?
No, I think that's probably what would happen, because you have a guard who is probably overconfident. It feels like he has the upper hand, like he's in a position of control and power, and Maroni doesn't seem like someone who's going to just lay down and take it. Yeah, so, right. As soon as he stabbed him, it just didn't look good, because Maroni's response was, "Yeah, I'm not going to go down easy." And we cut away; we don't see it until later that he survives.
Yeah,
but I think it was probably the only thing that didn't make a whole lot of sense is how he was able to. I'm fine with him overcoming the guard and killing the guard, but then for him just to walk out. I mean, I know the keys were there,
right?
So if he just maybe it may have been nice to have a flashback and see maybe he took the clothes off the guard or something, just how he got out. But I'm sure he just didn't take a stroll and just walk out the door, like nobody noticed him. But either way, I thought it was okay. I think you probably need more than one guard to do something like that to someone. So someone who's formidable.
Right. Yeah, but maybe the Penguin didn't know enough yet. So
maybe, yeah.
He's just starting out at this.
That's true. He's not an expert yet. He's getting there, though.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Very so entertaining. Can't wait for Sunday again.
Yeah, very good stuff. Well, cool. Yeah, three more to go. This episode. Yeah, it's 3 more. The only disappointing part is I think this is going to lead into a movie somehow. So once we see episode 8, we'll have to wait for the movie, which could take a while. But
yeah, they're not working on it already, or
they may be. I think they're writing it, or at least in development. So hopefully soon. Hopefully they're getting rolling on it. I think it'll be. I noticed that the rating. I keep seeing that the ratings for this series are going up and up and up every episode. And typically, when you have a series like any series, streaming or otherwise, you have a kind of a peak in episode 1, and then it goes down and down and down. This one's the opposite. It's gaining viewers as it goes. So with the popularity and the interest in it, it wouldn't surprise me if they fast track another kind of offshoot of one of the other characters in the Batman world, just to pump something else out.
Yeah, I wonder when they put this one, when they started producing this one, because like I didn't hear anything about it until it was like they started advertising.
Mm-hmm.
And
I did see an interview with Kristen Melody. She's the actress who plays Sophia at the Comic-Con in New York, and I just saw a few pieces of it, but she had mentioned that for episode 4 that they didn't have a lot of time to shoot it, that they were kind of in a hurry. So she talked about how she really loved the script, and it was really great to do it. The only downside was that they had to do it very quickly. So I wonder if they kind of, if it was very recent that they wanted to get it out, maybe a certain time period or what. But yeah, I'm not sure if they may have done it pretty quick.
Wow. Pretty impressive if it's done that quickly. Yeah. Jeez.
Yeah. Really good stuff. Really, very well thought out. Cool. Yeah. So until next week, where can people find you?
Yes, people can find me at the Fantasy Thinker YouTube channel, and you can find me on pagechewing.com with various podcasts, including Speculations and Film Chewing as well.
There's too many of them. Too many of them. But it's fun. It's fun. So cool. Yeah. So until next week, thanks everyone for listening, and we will. Oh, also I want to mention if anyone would like to talk with us about the show or books or comics or movies or whatever else we have, come on and join our forums at pagechewing.com. There's also a link down below. You can send us a message directly if there's something that you want to bring up or discuss, or we missed, or we said wrong, or whatever. Let us know. And also want to mention we are starting the Oscars project next month in November of 2023. We'll be watching the Oscars Best Picture for every year, starting from 1960 and moving up. And so 60, 61, 62 every other week. So if you would like to join that, check out our forums and come by and say hello. Be fun stuff.
Yeah. Just a few movies. Yeah.
Just a few. Yeah, no big deal. So until next time, we will talk to everyone very soon.